Hello, welcome to Tarot to a T. Today's reading will be for June 2023 for the sign of Scorpio. If this is the first time to my channel, welcome, and if you're coming back, welcome back. Glad to see everybody here, no matter if you're new or a subscriber. Just pleased to have you join me today. So we're going to do a general inquiry. What message does Scorpio need to hear? Okay, we're getting started here for June 2023. Do want to mention I am cutting back to one reading per sign per month until further notice. I just have a lot of things going on, and one of those things is that I'm offering private readings. So if you're interested in that, the information can be found in the description box, okay? Okay, we're almost there, Scorpio. We'll do that again. Message for Scorpio, June 2023. I just have it's a strange thing. The cards are kind of like sticking together. I mean, it has been a little bit more humid here lately, but I don't live in a humid climate. So I find that's just kind of an interesting movement there. Anyway, let's go ahead and turn some cards up and see what's going on. You got the Three of Clubs. Whoa, the Ace of Spades, the Tower card, the Four of Hearts, and the Six of Clubs. So the first thing that came out here, well, the first thing that struck me was the Tower card, obviously. So something major has changed in your life that's brought on some pretty drastic changes overall, and you're in the process of rebuilding from that. I don't see that necessarily happening in the month of June. I think you are rebuilding in the month of June. At least you're starting to. And this is where the struggle and the fight comes in with the Three of Clubs. Maybe you're struggling to start. I think you have a very clear idea that you need to get started. It's not like you're resisting or procrastinating. It's just maybe you're having a hard time figuring out which direction to go, and I'm not quite sure what it pertains to, but I do see you have a very strong support system here around the home. So you may have a very solid relationship going on that, you know, just kind of keeps you going. They have your back. Somebody has your back here. If you're not in a relationship, you have a very strong family or a group of friends around you, supporting you in your home, your lifestyle, that kind of thing. But there's been a lot of personal growth to this entire process with the Six of Clubs. The exciting thing to note here with the Six of Clubs, the sixes denote that there's going to be more opportunities coming your way, because you've kind of gone through a phase or an experience or a process that needed to happen to catapult you into other areas of experience and exploring in general. But again, I'm not seeing exactly what this Tower pertained to. So let's go ahead and turn up the other cards. See, maybe there's some clues there. The Seven of Hearts. These two came out together. The Four of Diamonds, the Two of Clubs, the Jack of Hearts, and the Five of Spades. It could have been the end of a relationship. This is the breakup card right here. This is some kind of change that happened. Now, if it wasn't a partnership or a marriage, it could have been like a breakup from, well, I'm going to say breakup, but breaking off from a work situation, like leaving a work situation. But I see a lot of emotion here, especially with the Seven of Hearts. This is about being disappointed and let down by someone. Usually, like I said, that would be one particular person, not like I can't see this really fitting an employment situation. I mean, maybe, especially if you in some manner had a lot of your heart and soul wrapped up in this employment situation. But I'm seeing this more as some kind of relationship that ended. I don't necessarily see it as a long-term relationship that went on for 20 years necessarily. At least not what the cards are showing me here, but it was significant enough that it's caused you pain that you're still going through with that Seven of Hearts. There's that feeling of you're not in the dark place necessarily, but you're carrying that pain, if you know what I mean. You still have that broken heart energy around you. Now with the Four of Diamonds and the Two of Clubs, see, the Four of Diamonds talks about some kind of windfall, some kind of abundance that has possibly sprung from this Tower. It could have been a relationship where you had property together, assets together. Maybe you had bank accounts that were all mixed up, and you've separated those, and as a result, you've kind of come out with this windfall. That doesn't mean you're independently wealthy, right? It just means that suddenly you have kind of a boost of abundance in your lap. But the Two of Clubs tells me there's some kind of communication needs to occur. To set the balance straight. Maybe you're still working that out. Actually, that's what I'm picking up. You're actually still working out the financial separation. So the physical separation probably happened, although I didn't see that card come out. You're definitely broken off from something or somebody. And it could have been a younger water sign. I mean, this could have been you. This is Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces energy, but if not, it's you being vulnerable and having your heart open. You know, when one relationship ends, and especially if we're particularly good at not hanging on to any bitterness or anger, you know, we have our heart open to, not to jump into the next relationship really quickly, but you know what I mean? Your heart is open to the possibilities that can now come your way because you have disconnected from some thing or somebody. And I'm still treading lightly on the something or somebody because I'm not seeing it clearly. I just see a lot of emotion mixed up, so I am leaning towards this being about a relationship that ended, the Tower moment. But this is a rebirth, right? Let's go ahead and get some more cards. Ooh, okay, that just popped out. So now you are, again, this is an ace denoting a new start, and this new start is definitely in the direction of what you truly desire. Doesn't have to be love, but it could be. It's just really important to you that you pursue now what truly, well, what you are truly passionate about, what's truly important to you. Definitely could pertain to relationships, right? Oh, these are just flying out now in the Jack of Spades. So you could be dealing with a younger air sign. That could have been who you broke off from. Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius. Now the Jack of Spades energy is also somebody or just an overall feeling that you can't trust or you're suspicious of somebody. I would say that you're kind of in an era of suspicion. Not necessarily with this new start, or new start to say with the both aces, but you know what, I'm being pulled again towards this because this is a very, very clear message to me that you need to communicate about some kind of money matter that's going to set you up financially. And perhaps there's a lot of distrust still mixed up with that. That would make a lot of sense, honestly. Especially if you haven't worked all that out and this is brand new. And I don't think it's happening in June necessarily, although it could. I think this is something you went through in the last month or so. And there's still fallout from that, hence the broken heart energy that is still lingering around. Now the Two of Hearts, yeah, look at this. This is your desire for companionship. So you are looking for that next significant relationship. You're not letting this hold you back, Scorpio, and I'm glad to see that. With this, paired up with having your heart open, feeling vulnerable in general, it just tells me you don't have a lot of defenses up. Again, I don't see a lot of bitterness and anger hanging out here. You have a little bit of distrust or just suspicion, but I don't think that's about the future. I think that's about the past. And you definitely are desiring that soulmate, that special connection. You are on the path and you're eager to find that connection again. The Seven of Diamonds, look at this. So there is some significant financial matter at hand, because this tells me, well, this is a warning against gambling or taking, crazy financial risks. So obviously there's some kind of abundance, finances that are mixed up in this, or you wouldn't have this warning. On the other hand, it could be just saying you need to hold on to your finance, your pentacles right now. When I said that, I was thinking like you need to hang on to your purse, you need to hang on to your wallet, right? And just kind of resist the urge to spend extravagantly, but also loosely. Just because I think, especially if you live with this person, when we split up with people, our finances obviously change because we don't have two incomes anymore. We kind of have to use our own income and budget that in a way that works for us. And maybe that's just kind of a warning that way. But you do have some balance here in your finances. So I think you are looking good financially. Yeah. A lot of balance there with this. So I would say that warning back here that I was just speaking of, yeah, that's about, okay, you're set up, but be careful with the crazy spending. And this is kind of like, again, going off the deep end. 1 second, please. I need to do a little bit of housekeeping. Okay, I thought I heard the camera shut off. I've had some electronic issues last few readings, so I just wanted to make sure that we're still rolling. And we are, so I'm going to go ahead and ask for cards of advice. I think we have a pretty good picture of a Scorpio who's rebuilding from a past relationship. Still carrying around a little bit of pain, but nothing too heavy, nothing too devastating. I'm sure it hurt on a deep level. I'm not minimizing it at all. Okay, but I just don't see a lot of, except for some broken heart, residual pain, I don't see anything really dark and heavy out here. There's the separation card. Okay, the Five of Hearts. You also have the King of Hearts. That's actually nice. I'll explain that in a second. And we have the Eight of Clubs. Like I said, these cards are starting to pop out really nicely and very quickly. 10 of Diamonds. Fantastic. Okay, again, if you haven't already separated from this person, you are being advised that that's coming, or you need to. I mean, it could be the final, straw that needs to happen, especially around this communication. I mean, especially if you're cohabitating and you're sharing a house and suddenly you have to find your own apartment. That's maybe where the discussion needs to come in around finances. It's like, hey, I'm willing to move out, but I need help, because now you're going to be carrying that burden on your own. It just depends on the nature of the relationship, right? But this is definitely that physical separation, and it can happen for many, many reasons, not just in love. So it's just a general, I'd say it's a very strong message about separation and how that pertains to your situation, okay? So take it how it fits. King of Hearts, I'd like to see this. This is you, Scorpio, very likely. This is water energy. It's also, the Kings I see as, the King of Hearts in particular, I see as having very good control over emotional matters for obvious reasons. It's also a very fatherly energy, somebody with very loving energy, but it can be very strong and firm. In this context, in advice, I'm just seeing this as, I think you already have your emotions in check, but you're being advised to really keep those, close to your heart, and to really practice emotional strength in some manner. Not that you would be out of control, right? I don't know. It's just kind of a confirmation of that's really important right now, to kind of keep that in check. And I've definitely, like I said, I've said this several times, I don't see all this heavy depressed, traumatic energy out here of hanging on to a lot of bitterness, anger, and just heavy emotion. I just saw that little bit of pain, which I'm sure is much larger than you're letting on. The Eight of Clubs, there is a decision to be made here. This is the crossroads. It's probably... I wouldn't know what the decision is. Or maybe this is a foretelling of you will have to make a decision. Let's kind of leave it in that context. Because again, you would know how this pertains to your situation. I'm an intuitive reader, so I pick up the emotional imprint of what's going on, but I don't necessarily see details. So not sure what this would be about. It's very possible, though, you're stuck on a particular outcome, and that's what's causing you to be kind of frozen in this state of, what do I do? Because you desire a certain direction, and it's maybe not the most practical direction or not the most easiest direction. Yeah, that's what I'm picking up there, but I really like where this is headed. So your advice is saying that you're headed to your greatest prosperity and success here. Probably not stemming necessarily from this breakup, but in general your abundance is going to start flowing more freely. I have found that to be true in my own circumstance. I'm not going to talk about my personal matters, don't worry. But I have found that I was involved with a relationship for a long time where I felt like my abundance was very stagnant and stuck. And it's not that I'm rolling in money now, but the energy around abundance and money has seemed to loosened up greatly just because I'm out of that situation. And it wasn't necessarily about that other person's behavior. It's just like when you invest too much in one area of your life, I think other areas energetically they're neglected, right? So I see this as a very good sign, and again, this wraps up a major chapter with the 10. Very, very nice. So you are headed on a very stable path as far as your abundance, your pentacles go. If you needed to hear that confirmation, there it is. Any more cards of advice for Scorpio? Scorpio, rebuilding from a lost relationship. Okay, now here's the heavy energy. The Ten of Spades is that card that I didn't see earlier that I was saying, oh, there's not a lot of heavy energy. There is. This really affected you deeply. It just needed to come out in the advice that perhaps you haven't been letting yourself feel that, because this Seven of Spades that came out with it is about hidden information. Yeah, you're not letting on how deeply this hit you. I will tell you again, it's wrapping up a major cycle in your life, so you may not be in this energy for long, but apparently you need to acknowledge it. I'm just going to put it to you straight. I'm not the fairy tale tarot reader. I just call it how I see it, and I have to call you out on this, Scorpio. If you've been burying these feelings, somehow they have to be released. Okay? Also, that denotes with the Ten of Spades that there's a period of grieving involved, so that may be your resistance to get in there, because it's going to feel very, very hard and heavy, and it's not going to be a good place for you to explore. But I think this was hidden. You might have known on some level that you were hiding these feelings, but it's been hidden in general. I'm not saying you hid it from yourself or hid it from anybody else. I just see it as repressed emotion. And advice is asking you to acknowledge and process those emotions. Enough said, right? Look at this. Excellent card to end this reading, because I was feeling one more card would suffice. The Six of Hearts. You're on the path to new options and opportunities in relationships. And significant ones. Now, they probably are romantic in context, but if you're not going to be looking for love, right out of the gate, you're going to perhaps meet close allies, friendships, people that are going to mean something to you in a significant way on other levels. This is a very good card for the future. If you felt like this situation and all the pain that's wrapped up in it, and the disappointment and the loss, and the drudgery of having to work out practical matters, which just adds to the sting of it, right? You are opening your future is opening up for you in relationship areas, and I think that's a very good place to end the reading. Okay, so just to recap, be the king of your emotions. Emotional strength, emotional maturity, probably goes hand in hand with this that needs to be acknowledged. The disappointment, the loss is more significant than you're letting on, perhaps even to yourself. It is leading you towards these better possibilities, though. And there's some kind of separation either to expect or that you still need to pursue here. Like I said, if you haven't actually moved out or the other person hasn't moved out, that could be an indication that needs to happen, that needs to change. And I'm not sure what this crossroads decision is about. It could be, honestly, about all the matters I just mentioned. How to go about things. But it's very positive, right? Very positive. Financially, you're going to be okay. I think sometimes when we break off from people, we're anxious about our financial future because it's just us. It's up to us. We don't have that other income, that other person contributing. But you are going to land on your feet, and that is probably the most important thing to realize. Okay? Thank you for joining me. It was actually a very good reading, even though there was a loss involved. You can do it. You're strong. The cards say so, I say so, and I will see you again soon. Probably in July, although I do have a big 2-week vacation coming up. So if I miss you in July, I'll get it in as soon as I can. Like after that time period, which is like the middle of July, okay? I'll see you again soon, Scorpio. Take care and hang in there.